Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. First couple announcements. I decided to close my booth and court site for the season. With the economy the way it is, I mean, nobody's even walking through the lot where my booth is and everything. I closed that down. I am not sure if I'm going to do the craft fair at the senior center in March. So if you're in the area, that's up in the air. You can contact me if there's anything you wish to purchase, including a reading. If you're not in the area, go to my website and you can purchase merchandise or, in my original art or a reading. We can do that on Zoom. With the rumors about the price of gas, it may change my nomadic itinerary this year. So I'm not sure what's going on yet with my schedule, so I cannot update the section on my website, Where is Gypsy Now, quite yet. So we'll have to see what happens with this craziness that is going on in our world. So anyways, that brings me to today's talk. Diatribe. Yeah, because I'm about ready to go on one. Yeah. That's why the camera's on. Every time I turn on the camera, there's a diatribe coming. Anyways, I would like to talk today about the American People's Convoy and freedom. Now, before we get started, I know there are some of you that might think, well, Gypsy's prejudiced about this situation because her son and daughter-in-law are truckers, and they are a trucking team. Even if they weren't, I would still feel the same way about this because all my life, even before my son was born, I have felt this way. So it has nothing to do with that. But we're going to start out discussing freedom. Now again, we're going to do a definition I looked up. Let me get my glasses and my phone on here. Okay, this is from the Oxford Language Dictionary. Freedom. The power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Now, we've discussed this many times. When I was young and, trying to make this world perfect, and we all go through that when we're young, I heard somebody say something very hateful. I was very young. This is a few decades ago. And I remember telling my dad, well, that person shouldn't be allowed to say that. My dad said, well, wait a minute. You can't do that. We have freedom of speech. This is America. That person can say whatever he wants, because if he can't, whether you like it or not, if he can't, then neither can you. No matter what you're saying, even if you're saying something loving. Okay, now, all these decades later, it's happening. Okay, we're being censored, being told what to do with our bodies, being told what medical procedures, and I don't give a fuck what YouTube thinks about this. That is happening, all right? Now, I'm not going to give an opinion. I'm not a doctor. I was a medical assistant, okay? That's as far as my medical training goes. So I really can't. I can base my decision based on what I am witnessing going on in our world and on my intuition, because I am a psychic medium, and as soon as all this shit hit the fan, I had some very strong intuitive messages. Anyways, besides that, we're not going to get on that because we're talking about freedom, and it's just not with what is going on now. This is freedom in general. This is something we should be keeping track of all the time. Because when we lose our freedoms, we've lost everything. And you know what? America's supposed to be the freest country in the world. Land of the brave and home of the free. Not anymore. It's not the home of the free anymore. I never saw this in my life before. I never read about it in history, and if it did happen, well, there was retribution so that we could get back to being America. We have to always be America. Okay, now, at the risk of harming my words here, what do you think the Civil War was about? People were being held captive, living in America, being held captive as slaves. Half the country was for that going on, half was not. I don't know if it's exactly 50-50. Let's not get into semantics. You know what I mean. If the Civil War did not occur, there would still be slavery in that respect. But let's face it, there is slavery going around, and it doesn't matter the color of your skin. You work, they take most of your money to do with whatever they want. That's slavery, people. We work for the governments and those above, and there are those above. Okay? So we're their slaves. That is not freedom. Being told what medical procedures and shit like that you must have, or that you must wear on your face when you go out, that's not freedom either. Okay? Now, I have mentioned how I feel about that with the jab in the past. I'm not going to go into that now. I'm talking about freedom as a whole, because every time you give up the slightest little bit of freedom, you never get that freedom back, and they're just going to keep asking for more and more, demanding more and more. Give me more of your freedoms. We're taking more of your freedoms. Every little step is a test to see if we'll do it, and it gives them more power to take more freedoms away. I have been watching this, well, since 9/11 happened. I noticed it. And they just keep coming up with more and more reasons to take away freedoms. So, and you know how I feel being a witch. Do what you will, harm none. In other words, hold on to your freedoms. Live your life. Be yourself in any manner you see fit, as long as you're not hurting someone else. Now, those who say, who are prejudiced, bigots, whatever, and they say horrible things. I grew up with this all my life because we had freedom of speech most of my life. Yeah, grin and bear it. Get a backbone. Grow a pair. You don't like what that person said? Nobody says you had to listen to them. Nobody said you had to hang out with them. Nobody said you had to have a relationship with them. And I know when it's a member of your family, it's harder. I didn't have that situation, so, yeah. It's harder, but you don't have to like what that person said. You don't have to agree with them. You don't even have to listen. There have been times I've gotten up from conversations and left the room. Left the situation because I didn't want to hear stupid talk. That's the way to handle it. We cannot take away freedom of speech because we don't like what somebody said or how somebody views something. We all have different perspectives. It all depends on what you've been through in your life, who you are, etc. And there's reasons for that, for us to grow spiritually, okay? We should never, ever, ever let go of our freedoms. Ever. And I don't care what it is. But do your best. Hang on to your freedoms. Be who you are. But harm none. Okay? Especially physically. Now, I would like to say, now based on what happened in Canada, ignore that cat. She wants to go back outside, and it's not time right now. Anyways, yeah, the one goes out, then I got to get the other one out, and they don't run freely, so it's really a mess to do this for them. Anyways, I'm sorry I'm getting off track. Based on what's been happening in Canada, I'd like to speak on this subject of the American People's Convoy. Now, last night, they just passed through Kingman, Arizona, which is 3 hours from where I am. It is where I typically, and I hope to do it again this year, spend my spring, because it's where the girls' vet is. I go and visit a friend. I'd like to do that again this year. I wish they had done it in the spring so I could have been up there, but they passed through there last night. And they are on their way to D.C. We all know this. But based on what happened in Canada, we can all predict what's going to happen. This is a peaceful convoy. Okay? Now, in the United States, whenever wrong is being done, a peaceful protest is legal. This is going to be peaceful just like Canada was. It's going to be legal and it's going to be peaceful. When they start telling you, and this is going to happen, I can almost guarantee it. I'm not asking the spirit realm, I didn't. You want to chime in on that?
Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. I just wanted to let you know that I have added hats to my print-on-demand products, and they are with my very strongly stated sayings and my original artwork. I have unisex trucker hats, and I have beanies, unisex beanies, and they do have my decentralized American Eagle on there, the Live Free Butterfly, and the Live Free Feather. I should have more stuff coming, but please go to gypsywitchcreations.com, click on the Print on Demand tab, and you will see all my print on demand products, including the hats. So please check my merchandise out at gypsywitchcreations.com.
Chime in on that, John? Yeah. This is John Patrick talking. This protest is, I'm going to say, going to go a bit better than what happened in Canada. And you're right on that. It's based on, well, our constitutional rights. Yeah, it still does exist, everyone. And we need to start paying more attention to what it says in there. My mother is right on some points that, yes, we have the right to a peaceful protest. So what my mom was about to say is, if they start getting accused, well, of being violent, or they do get out, they're accused of it, it is, I'm going to say the authorities. This is still John talking, not her mother, not his mother. Sorry, honey. Right. The authorities, right, they try to instigate it to get people to react. So it is our hope upstairs, yes, that the truckers, particularly two of them, right, they're not in there yet. I don't even know if they're going to, so let's keep it down on that. Okay. They try to rile them up, instigate people to get violent. Right. Now, you want to know about January 6th? Yes, I just asked, is that what happened on January 6th? Right. Now, you heard Brandon Strock say on the side of the Capitol he was on, it was peaceful. But then he saw videos of, of climbing walls and stuff like that on the west side, I guess. Right. So, that may or may not have happened, I'm going to say legitimately, and we're not going to go into that. But typically, when there is a protest, most likely, if it starts out peaceful, right, they will try to instigate an insurrection. So if you hear that this very peaceful protest, yeah, they are handling it in a very smart way. I just remembered what was said, right? And it goes awry and it gets violent, it was instigated by the authorities, we're going to say. They do that on purpose to give an excuse and to report violence. Yes, and now sometimes there are protests that were intentionally meant to be violent. Yeah, looting and rioting. We've all heard of that. Those are more intentional. When a protest starts out and it's announced it's to be peaceful, there's a reason they say it, to make sure everybody knows it's meant to be peaceful. Thank you, honey. I had another question for you guys before I started the video, and I can't remember what it was. Right. But anyways, yeah, this one's going to go a bit, I didn't want to say longer, but a bit better than what happened up north. Because people are taking more precautions. Right. They are the ones who first started this. So, based on what happened there, other countries are changing the way they're doing it to make sure that doesn't happen. And yes, they were peaceful, Mom. Right. It's not quite as bad as the news reports are saying. Oh, surprise, surprise, John. Here we go, Mom. Michelle and John having one of their conversations. I mean, for years before my son even crossed over, we would have not so much well, I suppose in a way, but it was a different topic back then, right? We have these conversations, so that's what that comment was about. Right. Even after he died, we did, even more so. Right. More based on this shit. Well, he was after the fact now. Anyways, right. When you start, I don't want to say chain reaction, across the globe protest, whoever starts it first, and yeah, Mom just said, aren't we proud of our neighbors up north, Canadians? Yeah, I mean, I get the chills every time I think about it. It's Michelle. I would watch it. Oh my God. And then you saw who? France? Others were doing it, other countries too. Right, Mom, they have started a chain reaction. And hopefully the powers that be upstairs get the point. Right, and so many are waking up to the facts of the matter as to what has been going on, on this planet, in this plane, for so long. And there are those, I'm going to say spirits, incarnated right now, who had this knowledge coming in. Right, someone like you, an ET soul, right, I'm going to say from another planet, you incarnate as a human, and you retain this knowledge, which is how you had all those reactions, even as a small child. It was so hard. Yeah, I started this, Michelle. I started getting depressed at 5 when I got to school, started school, looking around, see what this place is like. I'm like, this isn't right. Something's wrong here. I don't like it here. How long do I have to be here? And then I went into deep depression, right? Yeah, depression was on and off. Every time I saw how this place really was, I would get depressed, right? She's protesting. It's Persephone protesting right now. Her sister Rhiannon has decided to take her nap like a good girl. Anyway, yeah, Persephone wears her out. So that's what's happening. These are all intentionally being announced that they're peaceful, and they start out peaceful intentionally, and it is the truckers' intentions to be peaceful all the way. Right. So, you just thought of that, Mom. One of the, I'm going to say career choices on this plane, based on the way things are now with, international shipping, right, I mean, just all over. Truckers are almost, I don't want to say the ones in authority, but they're one of the best career choices to have a protest. Right, it's going to be hard on us. It already has. I mean, look, before they started the protest, John, for 2 years I've been going to the store and the shelves are empty. Right, just to buy a box of Kleenex. It's impossible, right, Mom? That's what you always say. Well, when my mom needs something, she goes, well, if I can find it in the stores. Right. We're not sure if out west it's been worse than east. Right, I have not asked anybody in our family who's still know how if it's like that for them. But for me, it's Michelle. Anywhere, Nevada, any place I have traveled in the West, the shelves are empty. Right, Mom. And that was before the trucker convoy. But now they're putting even a bigger hurting on this supply chain. And they have the right idea in mind. Get everybody's attention. Right. You're not so sure those are real people anyways, right? When you hear, like on Twitter or whatever, people angry at the truckers, I'm like, is this a bot? Is this somebody in the chain of command, I'm going to say, that is instigating this? Because I don't believe there are all that many people who are against what the truckers are doing, John. Right, Mom. And that's what I was going to say. You think like that. Is that a real thing? Is that person being honest? Who are they? Are they just your average, person, Joe, or whatever? Right. I always question that. That's right, Mom. So anyways, that was the point my mother wanted to get across. Well, what exactly is freedom? And my grandpa was right when they had this conversation. I believe it was before you were born, John, right? It was a few years before John was born. He'd be 34 right now. Right. So it was a long time ago. Right, but my grandpa was right. Because despite whether you agree with someone or not, they have the right to say and think and feel what they want. Right, it's their choice. It's on them. A lot of it does not really have to do with how spiritually advanced you are, because some people, well, yeah, they incarnate into these roles to instigate a situation, well, to get this planet to wake up and grow up. It's true. Right. Right. And we know that certain someone, she got in trouble for talking about a spiritual truth humanity is not yet ready to handle. Although I've mentioned it, I don't have the viewers, she does. I've mentioned it and have not gotten in trouble. That's true, Mom. I'm always shadow banned to the point I can't get viewers, both on Twitter and YouTube. It's okay. I'll get the word out there some way. It's right, Mom. Anyways, no, there isn't anything else on that subject. I think I hit the points I wanted to. This is Michelle. I just want to make sure you guys, one, understood the definition of freedom and why, whether you like what somebody says or does or not, it's their right. Now, now let's be reasonable. Stealing, raping, assaulting, murder, those are common sense. Those are things that should not be done. Okay? But we are taking, and America's been doing this for years. I mean, for way too long. I mean, laws about every little thing, to the point we have, well, the most criminals on the planet because of these stupid laws. And our jails and prisons are jam-packed because of it. Let's go with the common sense ones. Okay? That's where the Christians have it going on. Yeah. The Ten Commandments. I have to go through this again. Most of it. I mean, we're talking about serious. Yeah, there's things in the Bible we don't want to go back there again because it's just, well, subhuman. But when you're talking about murder, thievery, assault, rape, those are common sense. No, you don't do that. And yes, there should be consequences for that, because that, when you are infringing, especially physically, on someone, you're way out of line, and that is an automatic no-no. But to say and think and feel and do within your own privacy, you should have that right always. And no, others aren't going to like it. People don't like the things I say and think. Well, that's too damn bad. It's my right. Okay? No, I make my own rules. Okay? I'm one of the Creator's creations, and we are given free will and freedom. Nobody can really stop it. We have to remember that, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to make it clear. This Freedom Convoy, I was so proud of the truckers in Canada, okay? My son and daughter are American truckers. Remember, long before that boy was born, I felt very strongly about these things, long before. I'm from Series B? Right, I'm from Series B. That's where I usually incarnate. I came in with the knowledge. As a young child, I knew all this shit was wrong. Long before I could have children. Well, no, yeah. Anyways, yeah, before I could have children, I knew that. As a 5-year-old, I knew that. Okay? So it really has nothing to do with the two people I love most on this planet right now are truckers. No, it has to do with our freedoms globally. Because there is not a single soul on this planet who does not have the right to their privacy and their freedoms. What we don't have the right to do is what the upper echelon is doing and infringing their rights upon us. That is wrong. Nobody ever has that right. They don't. Always remember they don't, and always remember there's more of us than there are of them, and that is what the truckers up in Canada, in France, I think it was, now in America, are telling everybody. Don't leave it just to mandates for COVID. Oops. Out loud. Don't leave it. No, it's not just that. You cave into this, more is coming. It's never going to stop here. Anyways, I'm going to shut up because I could go on for hours. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.